Ciao and good morning, everyone back home in the States. Christina and Justin here, live from Italy. We are owners of the Bottle and we're here with Teresa from the Valley. Very excited to be at this beautiful Masseria today. And we are tasting the Orion Primitivo today. Before we begin, though, why don't you tell us a little bit about Li Veli and the region that we're in right now?
Thank you. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you to be here. I'm so excited. Masseria Li Veli is a winery now, but it was already a winery more than 100 years ago. It was a winery at the starting of the 19th century, founded by a marquis of the area. He was a Marchese Antonio de Viti de Marco. We have him on the back. But he was overall a great politician, economist, a liberal, a democratic man, a very cosmopolitan person, such a modern person for that time in this area. And he found Masseria Li Veli, and he made Masseria Li Veli already a successful winery with 600 hectares, a quite big estate, one of the biggest in South Italy, and also not only in Puglia. Even known a little bit in US because he was married with an American woman, so he spent some of his life even in US. So this place is full of history, but of course the roots of this place has the roots in the very past time, where the Greek population, the Romans population inhabited this geographic area, and vines, grapes has always been made in this part of Puglia. Of course, also thanks to the weather, the perfect weather to grow grapes, and the strategic position. Consider that Li Veli, in particular, we are between two seas. So from between Ionian and Adriatic coast, that especially in the past meant strategic position to ship the goods from different harbors, from different shore. So this place is really full of history, and the recent story of this place started over in the 1999. So I'm doing a big jump in the present now. In the 1999, when the Falvo family, a Tuscany family, fell in love with Puglia, and they decided to invest in this part of Puglia with, from the very beginning, a very precise goal: the production of fine wine, elegant wines, starting, of course, based on the production of the indigenous grapes of this part of Puglia. And Primitivo, for sure, is one of the most important ones.
Great. Yeah. That's so interesting. Again, just to repeat that, I think that is definitely worth noting. So we are in southern Italy. We are in the Puglia region. Am I saying that correct? The G is silent.
Puglia. Yes, correct.
We're in the Puglia region. Very sunny, very warm down here in southern Italy, positioned strategically between the Adriatic and the Ionian Sea, which helps with that heat and that growth of the grapes, and also for exportation of the wines, as you had mentioned, which is
especially
fantastic.
Of course. It's a lucky place
to
stay.
Perfect. And we are trying a Primitivo today, the Orion Primitivo. And Primitivo, for those back home, is the equivalent to Red Zinfandel from California and from the States. So that's what we're going to be trying today. And Orion, the term, means boundary in Greek, correct?
Yes, correct. Because nothing related to the star, as many people think, but Orion really is an old Greek term that defines a boundary between the Roman, and I'm speaking about centuries ago, between the Roman Empire and the Magna Grecia Empire. As I said, this place is full of these old traces of the passage of the old population that lived here.
Fantastic. Well, let's try it.
Yeah, let's dive into the wine.
And Justin, I see we do have a comment up there. I don't know if you want to filter comments, if you can slide over and do that. But we're
Yeah.
excited. I'm curious if anyone back home. It's what 7 a.m. back home. If anybody is
Yeah.
going to be trying this with us, or if
Well, we-
everybody else will be trying it when they get
Really
home from work
brave.
tonight.
Yeah.
We know this gentleman here saying ciao, Adam, is actually visiting soon.
Coffee and
So-
wine.
Yes, coffee and
Cappuccino and wine.
cappuccino and wine. That's my kind of morning. It's Friday, right?
Yeah, of course. We can eat in front of us. Sure, please.
Thank you. And actually, if you could pass me the bottle, I'll show
Yes.
everybody the bottle so that they can see.
It's the Orion 2022.
So if you don't have this already and you follow up on this later, this is the wine that we are trying here.
And
At
it
the
is
Valley.
available at the bottle room. So come get your bottle and try it with us later on this live session.
All right, so let's look at it. Definitely want to see what kind of colors and visual that we have. Beautiful, elegant looking.
Yeah, beautiful ruby color.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is. Tell us what
Yeah.
the winemaker is intending us
Yeah.
to perceive from this wine.
Yeah. Probably I need to start from the fact that the philosophy of the family, as I said from the very beginning, was aimed to produce a really elegant wine, well balanced. Why I'm saying well balanced? As you mentioned, this is a very warm part of Italy, of the South Italy. The strategic position between two seas allow us to receive a lot of benefit from winds. So we have different winds that cross in this area and help in mitigate the temperature, in calming down the very warm temperature that we can have, especially during the summer season. And in particular, what I want really to point out is about the soils. We have in our soil not so much clay, which is a very warm, and it acts like a sponge in a kind of way. A clay is very warm and enrich too much the wine in terms of alcoholicity and sugar content. We have a lot of stones and limestone, sand, fossils. There are a lot of fossils underground. Which is the proof that in the past everything was under the sea here. And this kind of soil helps a lot in reaching body, but also a beautiful freshness, a beautiful acidity, which translated in wine testing is freshness. So speaking about Primitivo, for example, which is considered one of the most strong and full body grape and wine in Puglia, we produce our Orion, our Primitivo, with a really high freshness and balsamic hints, Mediterranean herbs. So the structure is really well balanced by the acidity. Primitivo, of course, as you mentioned, shares the same DNA with Zinfandel, and probably also its fame is also helped a little bit from the fact that it's related to the American Zinfandel. But in general, Primitivo is loved by many different kind of customers. The most well-educated or who is approaching for the first time to wine is a wine that everyone likes. I mean, and is made in very different version, really. I think Primitivo is one of the grape in Puglia that take a lot from the idea that the wine producer want to give to the Primitivo. In our winery, the philosophy is to achieve elegance and balance between the fruit, which in our Primitivo are not too ripe.
I was going to say,
too
this one
strong.
doesn't seem too ripe. It's very elegant.
Exactly.
It's well
also
balanced.
Keep a little bit of tannins to have this idea of cleanness in the palate. Yes, this is the idea that we try to pursue about our the Primitivo grape. Is how we want to interpret it. Is how we want to elaborate the idea of Primitivo, how Primitivo should be.
Right.
Well, I've only smelled it, so I'm gonna, a little bit of a nose on it. I'm gonna actually try it now.
Yeah, I've already tried it.
Yeah. It's about black cherry, cherry.
Black cherry. I'm also getting a little bit of a smoky, meaty note on it that I love in wine. And the complexity and the finish, as you'd mentioned, the body is fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. Let's go show the winery off a bit because we are in the most beautiful building. Again, a masseria, which really is just a working farm.
Yeah, of course.
In Italy. And is that in all Italy or is that
In
specific?
Puglia? It's something. Well, even in Sicily there is this term used, but in Puglia is typically masseria is a term that we used to define farm.
Farm.
So all
There
the
we go.
masserias in the past were.
So if you see that on your bottle,
Masseria,
which is at the top of this one. Let's see if I can get that to come on correctly right there. Masseria. That's what the term means when we're talking about Puglia wines.
Perfect. Well, let's take our
We're going to take this on the road, and I am going to do a little switcheroony here. So apologize for any technical difficulties that happen here. We're going to add to the stage. All right. Sorry about that.
Perfect. So let's take a walk in this beautiful building.
We're kind of muted for a second. Wow, this is beautiful.
Ceilings typical of the architecture of the Apulian Masseria. And they, as I mentioned, they bought in 1999, and it took a while to restore, of course, the building because this place was found some part in good condition, but other parts needs
Repair.
important,
Sure.
The restoration.
Perfect. And what are we producing or what are we fermenting here?
So here, this is the aging room for our reds because our white and rosé, they are only stainless steel made. So we produce all our reds in these French oak barrels, and depending on the importance, on the structure of the wine and the style that we want to achieve, we use the bigger tonneau or the small barrique. It depends, of course, by the final result that we want to achieve for the wine. Let's say that in particular Orion, this Primitivo, for this Primitivo we use vines on an average of age of 18 years old, let's say, with a small part also of the oldest vine used, bush vine trained, so with a natural very low yield.
That was one question that we had was that bush vine housing system. Is that unique more so for the Primitivo or the area?
Of the area, so it can be for Primitivo, can be from the Gramaro as well as Susumanieri, is something typical of the area, not in particular for only one grape.
Sure. And when we step outside, are we able to see that from the view?
we will see the bush vine tree,
Great.
the alberello, as we say in Italian, small tree. Yeah,
alberello. So we will view that once we step outside. That'll be fun.
So for the Orion in particular, for this wine, we want, as I said, we want this wine be fresh, refreshing, crisp, retaining all the crispiness of the fruit, the red fruit that you can taste in it. So we don't use the barrique, we don't use the small vessel, but we use the big.
Let's look at these.
So the fermentation in a stainless steel and then the aging in the big one.
And how much wine is in one of these?
This one is 10 hectoliters. Yeah.
So this is where our Primitivo that we're drinking.
Yeah.
Look at this. I'm a tall individual. Look at this in comparison. These are gorgeous.
That is cool. They got them stamped with their brand. It's awesome.
Yes, also, of course, using the bigger barrels and not the small one is also a reason to really let the grape and the wine express itself at the best without any interaction with the material of the vessel that you're using for aging it. So that's why this wine is so fresh and immediate and well balanced, because that doesn't receive any interaction really with the wood. But even speaking about the small barrel, the philosophy of the producer is not using any new oak or toasted oaks that can mark too much, the wine character with the wood notes. So everything is really based on letting the grape express itself, let the territory, the land, the soils express the terroir.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that we note a lot in our tastings back home with our customers as well is, New World, California, for example, we're seeing a lot of manipulation of the wine. Whereas here, we're tasting the earth. We're tasting really the beauty that's coming from the terroir that we have here.
Thank you.
Great. Well,
Are there other grapes that you that like red varieties that we would enjoy or that you produce out of this winery?
Primitivo, yeah, this is the area of Primitivo, Negro Amaro, and Susumaniello. Don't know if you heard about
Susumaniello.
this grape. Susumaniello is an indigenous grape that was produced a lot until 1980, let's say, and then was almost abandoned in favor of Negro Amaro and Primitivo. But Li Veli, we were the first winery that want this old varietal to give it a new life, to bring it back to life. And so we started in Puglia the re-evaluation of this varietal, and we launched the first Susumaniello after many years in Puglia in 2009. We launched our Ascos Susumaniello, which, by the way, was in the top 100 of Wine Spectator with the 2020 vintage. So, of course,
very,
it was such
very neat.
a great
So
moment for
say
us.
that again, the grape.
Susumaniello.
So Susumaniello.
If I say little donkey, you will remember easier. That's what that means.
Little donkey. And in the top 100 for Spectator. Very, very cool. Justin and I have been trying quite a bit of Negro Nero since we've arrived here in Italy, and we have been loving it. So we're excited to bring that back home for our customers as well.
Thank you.
But we've been speaking about this beautiful, sunny, southern Italian region we're in. Let's go look
Yeah.
at it outside.
Let's do that.
Go see some of that sunshine for everybody back home. We just had a snowstorm a few days ago, so so this is a welcome treat for us, especially.
The light here is beautiful.
The sunshine is gorgeous. So here's that bush trellis system that we were mentioning earlier.
Was this area here on the west, yeah. But yeah, these are our oldest vines of Negramaro and Susumaniello. They have an average of 25 years.
25 years.
And as I
Sorry to anybody that's watching. We were getting out of our Wi-Fi range, I believe. So apologize for that. And we'd like to just say thank you for joining us. Hopefully you were able to pick up some good information from this. And we will see you back in the United States. We do have another tasting coming up shortly in May from Walla Walla. And hopefully you can join us for that. It'll probably be at a little bit better time for you. So, ciao from Italy.